Hey YouTube, Zelakala here, and as you can see, I am in fact bringing you an OU battle today. I don't usually play OU because I'm pretty awful at it, basically, but sometimes I like to play it and bring my random teams. And I have actually been playing a lot of it recently with my kind of weird team with Gothitelle and Meloetta, which I kind of like, and it does quite well sometimes. This The team that you can see here isn't finished. I do have a finished version of this team, which I hope to get some videos up for the next time that I can upload. And yeah, basically looking at his team, the things that threaten me are Alakazam if it has the sash, Salamence if it has the choice scarf, and then just Wobbuffet and Sableye in general. Because Wobbuffet, I never know how well it can take hits, and I'm always afraid of it because of Shadow Tag. Sableye is always just a huge troll and a pain, so that's going to be kind of annoying to deal with. But yeah, I'm challenged by Nain, which is actually a Smogon name for a change, which is quite nice. He leaves with a Sableye, and I leave with Gothitelle, basically fearing Wobbuffet because I didn't want him to, get a free kill straight away. But Sableye is a good thing to start with. I predict him to go for the Taunt and go into Chandelier, and I predict him to go into Wobbuffet, which he doesn't do, and I go into my Gliscor because that can Toxic it. It's not such a bad play, I suppose, because he tricks and gets the Toxic Orb, and Lagging Tail isn't so bad for Gliscor. But then again, that does mean that Gliscor is going to be losing out on Poison Heal, and I don't think this Gliscor has Roost, if I remember correctly. I'm not really sure though. So I just go into Meloetta, knowing that he can't recover stall me out of Thunderbolts, which I know do about half, as he switches into Mence. Obviously, he knows that Meloetta, being a good player, has Hidden Power Ice sometimes, so he switches out straight away and goes into Wobbuffet, and Hidden Power Ice does nothing to that. Now I'm thinking, but then again, it doesn't matter too much because if Meloetta dies, it wasn't going to do anything particular on this team. It's mostly there to deal with the Abrungus and Heatran defensive core that you see sometimes now. But yeah, I just allow myself to be encored into Relic Song, kind of expecting him to Mirror Coat or something, but never mind. I just keep going for the Relic Song because it's stab, it's kind of powerful, and it has a chance to sleep, so it's probably the best thing to be locked into. And it was definitely the best thing to hit Wobbuffet. I do get the sleep there on the Mence after it comes in. I keep going for it, basically deciding that I can just sack this if he's going to go for the Dragon Dance, and I can get off some more damage, etc., etc. So yeah, he then goes for the +1 Outrage, which obviously outspeeds me because it's +1. Um, and my Meloetta dies, but that's fine, even though he does get his Moxie boost, because that means I can send in my Sharpedo just fine. It's forced into outrage, so I can protect knowing he's not going to switch or Dragon Dance. And then I can just go for the Ice Fang and hope that he expects it to outspeed, which he does, which was kind of a misplay. Um, so yeah, that's kind of convenient for me because that thing could have torn through my team quite easily. Mence is kind of a problem for this team before I changed it a little bit. So then he sends out a Sableye, and I'm obviously going to predict that Will-O-Wisp. I'm not really sure why I went to. Oh no, I remember why I went to Gliscor. I was hoping that he'd overpredict me and trick me back the Toxic Orb, but he doesn't. So yeah. He then goes into Wobbuffet. I'm not 100% sure why. I go for the Earthquake. Now he kind of makes a misplay here, and he goes for the counter, trying to get some damage off, even though the Earthquake was doing nothing. But because counter has negative priority, that means I can get off the Toxic, which is great because a Toxic Wobbuffet is a crippled Wobbuffet, basically. So he takes Toxic damage, I take burn damage. He then encores me into Toxic, which I was a little bit confused by because he doesn't have any Steel types, I don't think. No, he doesn't. But then I remembered he has his Alakazam, which has Magic Guard, which doesn't take damage from Toxic, so that was actually kind of a good play. I don't think I could have paralyzed him or anything, but yeah, Toxic is, Toxic. It doesn't matter. It can only be a good thing really on Alakazam. So yeah, I then switch out because I can't do anything to Alakazam obviously, and I can switch out now. I just go into Jirachi because it's special defensive. I figure it can probably take anything, but he just goes for the Focus Blast, which I wasn't expecting, and he crits, which is kind of annoying because that means that another Focus Blast would, I think, kill. I'm not really sure, but it might kill. Then he just goes into Infernape as I go into my Chandler, predicting the Focus Blast again. But here I know that Infernape often carries Stone Edge and or Earthquake. He does decide to go for the Earthquake as I switch into Gliscor, basically trying to see what he does. He then misses the Stone Edge, which kind of mattered because it means I can get off the Toxic, which is important because Gothitelle is my counter to fighting types on this team. And Gothitelle can't Oko um, Infernape. It does like 98% max. So that Toxic will, that 2 turns of Toxic that I got off there will ensure that Gothitelle will be able to Oko with a Psychic. I'm not sure why I went for Close Combat. I know here it does crit and it does do a lot of damage, but anything else would have done more, basically. I already knew that he probably didn't have the U-turn, which is why I sent it in the first place. But he might have had the Overheat, might have had the Flare Blitz, and Earthquake and Stone Edge would both have done more damage as well. Um, and the close combat defense drop basically just ensured the kill for me. Here he sends in Wobbuffet. I'm fine with that. I have Shudder Tag. I can switch out whenever I want. He can't do any damage to me. I can just rest up and maybe I can use Gothitelle again a bit later. He then encores me into rest, which is just fine because I was going to switch out anyway, as he takes some damage from Toxic. I then switch out, obviously, as I said, and go into my Chandelure because that can threaten most of the things left on his team. And he goes into Alakazam. And here, oh yeah, he does switch out. It's a different battle I'm thinking of. But yeah, he switches out. I just go for the Shadow Ball, knowing that it kind of hurts anything on his team that's left. Um, his Sableye, I knew it was going to trick and get rid of my Choice Scarf so that Alakazam could then outspeed, but quite frankly, I just wanted to get rid of this Sableye because I just hate coming up against it. So it was good that I managed to get rid of that. However, that does mean that the Alakazam will now outspeed. So I just go into my Jirachi, expecting to be able to, well, either fodder it off or take whatever it wanted to do. Goes for Shadow Wall, which I would normally probably have been able to take, but he gets another crit. Jirachi just eating all of the crits there. So Jirachi dies. I then send in Vector. I think I go for the safe protect here just to ensure that I get the plus speed in case he goes for Focus Blast. But he just goes into Wobbuffet, which was kind of weird. I don't know. I guess maybe he thought he could take a crunch, or maybe he thought that I had Pursuit. But if he thought I had Pursuit, then why would you switch out of Alakazam? I don't know. Anyway, I just go for the crunch and it kills. I'm not sure how easy that was. I didn't calc it. And I gain some more speed, which means that even if Alakazam is Choice Scarf, I'll be able to outspeed. Now here I go a bit try hard, wanting to win now, and I calc Crunch's damage on Electivire, and it does like 93%. So I decide to go into my Gothitelle to try and wear it down a bit. Obviously, he has Life Orb, which kind of helps. Um, I'm not sure why I went for Torment there. I guess I was kind of thinking maybe his choice, but if he was, then Brick Break, it didn't really need um, forcing him to struggle. Not Brick Break, Cross Drop. But anyway, I do get the Psychic off anyway, which means that well, to start with, I'd send in Chandler because I like it when it's a 1-0 because it feels close. I knew that Chandler wasn't going to outspeed. I did actually check, but I just decided to send it in anyway because it wasn't going to do anything against Alakazam either. So I just send in Vector. I protect to get the speed, obviously, as he cross chops. And then because I calced it before, I now know that Crunch will KO just fine. So that happens. And here, his Alakazam is left. And I'm just basically absolutely terrified that it has the Focus Sash. And that he's going to kill me with the Focus Blast, which would have been really annoying, but also really good if he had. And an amazing play to keep it alive on his part. But unfortunately, it doesn't for him. It doesn't have the Focus Sash. And I do kill it with the Crunch in one hit. And I beat Nain. But that was a really, really good game. I really enjoyed it. It was really awesome to kind of use this team and get a win with it, even though it's not finished. You'll notice that with this team, as it is now, you'll probably be able to tell that I have huge problems with rain teams, but I have fixed that recently, and hopefully you'll be able to see that soon. The last battle I uploaded, I asked a question and that was well, I asked two questions. I asked how people thought Genesect and Gothitelle would affect the metagame in OU, and to be honest, I thought Genesect would affect it a lot more than it seems to be. I haven't really seen very many Genesect, but then I haven't been on Wi-Fi very much. Um, but I haven't seen it on Showdown, like barely at all. It is fairly common, but not as common as I thought it would be. Gothitelle, on the other hand, I'm the only person that I've seen use Gothitelle in OU. And even then, I'm using it in a very niche role, basically to hard counter Breloom, Conkeldurr, and certain Infernate variants. Um, so it's convenient in that respect, but it is a very niche role. And the other niche role it fulfills quite well is dealing with Blissey with Taunt and Torment, preventing it from doing anything every other turn, um, which works quite well. Um, it's also quite good against choice Pokemon, especially not so powerful ones. But yeah, I really don't think that they've influenced the metagame too much in OU. They'll probably earn Gothitelle will probably earn bans in PU definitely, and possibly NU if PU even gets bans. It probably doesn't. But NU, I think it might get banned. Um, but other than that, Gothitelle isn't so great because it doesn't have the speed or the bulk. Um, it doesn't have the speed that Chandelure has, and it doesn't have the bulk that Wobbuffet has. So it's just kind of meh as a Shadow Tag user, even though it does have access to some unique abilities for a Shadow Tag user. But anyway, I think I've probably rambled on about that too much. What I did want to talk about is my team. I guess I'll just go over that really, really quickly now. As I just said, Gothitel's job is to trap fighting types and choice users if possible. But it usually ends up as death fodder on any team that doesn't have a fighting type that it can hard counter. Meloetta is the basis of this team. It's a mixed Meloetta, which is amazing. I do have some showdown footage that I want to show, basically showing how underrated I think Meloetta is, because it sweeps. I basically have some showdown videos. One of Meloetta sweeping a team, and one of um, Meloetta securing me a win. I feel so that I feel like that could be interesting. Chandler and Sharpedo break through all of Meloetta's counters. There's no way that any Ghost or Psychic types can really stand up to the both of them at once. Jirachi and Gliscor are just kind of standard. Now I'm using Skarmory as a massive counter to, like Scarf Ments, which was always a huge problem to my team, and physical Dragonites and Haxorus and all that kind of stuff. And I also have Lantern, which basically walls rain teams in general forever, except stuff with like Hidden Power Grass and Energy Ball. But even then, they don't do like loads of damage to max HP, max special defense um, Lantern, so it works really well. And yeah, I really have rambled on for almost a quarter of an hour now, so I'm just going to stop there. And please leave a like or even a dislike, whatever you feel this video warrants. Please comment, talk about my team if you want. Tell me how I can improve it. Tell me how I can improve the way that I play, and subscribe if you think I'm really that good. Um, but again, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.